Today I would like to share the joy and deep happiness I feel when I create art, draw, paint and start a new artistic adventure. I always come in the studio well dressed and even more at the beginning of a new project. Creating has always been at the center of my life and a necessity since I'm about 10 or 11 years old, and the main ultimate reason why I decided to spend a good amount of my life in my studio and on my desk. It's because it gives me a sense of satisfaction, happiness, contentment and excitement that I can't find anywhere else. I love what the painter Louise Elisabeth Vigée-Lebrun wrote in her memoirs. She wrote, "Painting and living has always been the same thing for me." Creating allows us to become a child again in an adult life which is sometimes so restricted and so limited in so many ways, by space, resources, rules, norms, habits, social pressure, work, responsibility. The opportunities and occasions to escape this adult world are very rare, and how good it feels to make time to live in this secret playground and its unlimited possibilities. To do mistakes, tons of mistakes, to stain, to waste supplies, and not feeling guilty about it. To me, creating and playing are the same thing. My brushes, papers, paints, sketchbooks and tools became my adult toys. And my art studio replaced my child bedroom, but has the same purpose. I started to create, draw and paint when I felt I couldn't decently play with my dolls anymore, and I adored playing with my dolls. And creating art and all sorts of things helped me growing up, and little by little I realized keeping creating, I would never really have to leave my childhood world and dreams. They could live with me till the end of my life. Creating has always been my secret and unlimited source of joy and happiness. And after so many years, it is still the case. Whatever my outside circumstances have been, it never fails to uplift my heart and soul when I create, and the outside world instantly vanishes. I'm on my own with my imagination and my hands, and I don't need anyone's approval, opinion or judgment. Creating changes our relation to time. I don't know if artists and those who decide to make a living of their art waste less time than others, but they for sure use it differently. I know for sure I have at least 10 long projects which require several months or maybe 1 year of work to be completed, and they are waiting to be started in my sketchbooks. When we create, we use our time wisely because we know how precious this resource is. And making art can be accomplished with the same satisfaction and sense of fulfillment at any age. And my favorite painters, sculptors, artists, writers have produced their best work at the end of their lives, so I find that very, very encouraging. A couple of years ago, I decided to spend several weeks spread along the year to create artistic projects which would not be sold and would not be monetized in any way. As a professional artist, it might sound strange and silly not to monetize every single thing I'm creating, but it made perfect sense to me, and this non-monetizing thing was very important and critical. It removed all expectations. Little by little, I realized I was not creating art, I was selling with the same joy. I became my own little manufacturer and I was creating and doing things people and clients were expecting me to do. These expectations and restrictions and limits needed to be on pause once in a while. It feels good to create without any limit of sizes, of shapes, of prices, things I have to consider all the time when I create for art I want to sell, for commissions, for collaborations with museums, all these sort of things, and of course for my workshops too. So once in a while, it just feels good to create just because it feels right. The only limit I put on this project is time, because it has to be a few weeks and not many months, of course. And allowing myself to work on these projects reopened instantly the sense of excitement and joy, which was fading away little by little and year after year. And the sort of project I'm working on right now with my historical Valentine series is just exactly that. I create art, I write a script, I do some research, I use my brain, my imagination, my hands. It's a bit like going on vacations for a couple of weeks in my own artistic creative self and come back refreshed, happy, excited and with new ideas and enriched with all the discoveries and explorations I have done. And I know all the rest of my work and artwork I do and monetize fully benefit from these little vacations in my artistic self. Here I had to create a sort of beauty stand, and I totally took inspiration from this painting because it was very detailed, and this is the typical beauty desk, beauty dresser, or I don't know how you would call it, that you have in all the engraving, mainly the gallant, slightly libertine paintings and engraving of the 18th century. They always show a lady at her dresser getting dressed or taking care of herself or something like that, and you always have the same ingredients. You always have the mirror like that, is standing next to the wall but not hung on the wall. You have her beauty thing on a square table, the table is always square, and you always have two different fabric. You have a sort of tablecloth and another one which probably protects the first one. And it's really interesting because I don't know why it was always like that, and with a sort of curtain around the not really a curtain, but a nice piece of fabric around the mirror, always like that. And it's something I've seen. I have that in other engraving I have in my home, and it's always like that. And it seems to have disappeared after that. You keep the mirror for beauty stand in the 19th century and later, and then the products on a table. I'm really fascinated by that because I don't really understand the reason they had a curtain. I think they just find that pretty. It was the fashion to do that. I don't know really. That's the inspiration for this little piece of decor for the video. And I also have some plates because he's eating at some other moment, and also this for the soup. So I did a lot of accessories, a lot of fun little things, which are just super fun to do. It's something I do, of course, for this project, but I'm not going to lie, when I start to create all these little accessories and pieces of decor, it's just so much fun. It's totally like playing with your doll when you were 5 years old and creating all sorts of pieces of furniture, clothing for your dolls, playing with paper and trying to create fun little decor inspired by a scene, and in that case, to tell a story. We have a lady dragon, which will appear. I had a lot of fun doing her. It's not a fairy tale at all, by the way. The Valentine video series is a real 18th century piece of history. It's totally historical and totally 100% the words and the acts of French aristocrats of the time that you're going to meet for the first time in the video. You can't know him for now because he's completely forgotten. But there is a dragon appearing, and I had to do her, of course. because it was a fun character. There is Marie Antoinette. You are going to see her. Of course, she just appears in the story. She appears a little because it's the most famous historical character our main hero was connected with, but it's not about her. And the series, the Valentine series, is absolutely not a fairy tale at all. It's a real 18th century typical piece of history, so pretty far from fairy tale. And she has her fan, of course. I had to do her fan. But I'm not going to show her too much because she needs to appear and you need to discover her much better in the video series. Creating develops a lot of qualities essential to have a fulfilled and happy life. It develops patience as long as beautiful, ambitious projects need time, and the world we are living destroys patience. It develops some sort of discipline and consistency. It allows us to look for happiness less outside and more within us, and give us a sense of purpose and excitement, and maybe make us more pleasant human beings to be around. So you are going to see the first episode of my Valentine video series. It's going to be the next video after this one. It took me a little longer because I had some decors to finish, few quite big things, and I wanted to do it well, so I just thought it's still not Valentine, I can still do it, and all this work I'm going to reuse it in some way or another for upcoming projects, other things in the future, so it's fine. And you are going to see how this lady dragon arrives and appears in the video. I can't wait to share it with you. It's going to be really fun. I'm quite happy with her. I don't know how I will be able to reuse her after this series because I need to find another story with a dragon maybe. So you're going to see that. I'm going to continue now to finish my decor. I've done all my accessories, the characters, everything is done. All the audio is done. Most of the thing is done. It's just the decor. I had few decors to finish. I hope this video has inspired you to go back maybe to some projects which are slipping, to finish some which you want to finish and they are making you happy and all that. It's so important. And in winter, I think it's just the best season to create, really. You don't have so many temptations outside to go for walks and enjoy the beautiful weather. You don't have beautiful weather in winter usually, so it's just the best moment to stay in your studio or in your craft space and use your brushes, your pencil, your paper or your fabric or whatever you use and just have fun and enjoy yourself. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss all the nice videos coming, and you can give a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. So for now, I will leave you here and I will see you very soon.